Well, welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today I wanted to talk about two very cool CGC 9.8 comic books that I unfortunately think I kind of missed out on. Yeah, just sort of given recent announcements that have come out sort of with this character and how the sort of prices have advanced. And we'll get into all the details for sure, but also hopefully on the video here we can get into a bit of a buying strategy on how we can maybe get them at closer to the fair market value before this huge promotional event happened, because there's one of the books I really want, and I'm kind of hitting myself like, man, why didn't I think to grab that one? But so really quickly though, I would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8 and hit the bell for all the latest notifications. Add me on Instagram and Twitter too. I'll have all the links in the description below for all that stuff. But let's just get right into the issues. And really quickly, the announcement that I'm talking about is how MCU Disney sort of has the rights now for Alien and Predator. And apparently they got the rights like sort of a while ago now when they purchased the Fox deal, which kind of happened I think 1 or 2 years ago maybe. So I think they got the rights in that deal, but I think there's a little more rumors and confirmations now that Marvel is going to be doing some comic books and maybe some movies of Alien and Predator, which they were always kind of Dark Horse comic books, so that's pretty exciting. Now, the two CGC 9.8 comic books I want to highlight here, and they're both really interesting. Yeah, so the first one is Aliens #1. And I want to think about the first print of this one, which I think is the best Alien sort of investment grade book you can think about grabbing for sure. Aliens #1. I love this cover. Yeah, this cover just, it's appealing. It's classic and it's memorable. Yeah, sweet Aliens cover with the kind of scared astronauts kind of deal. So in the CGC 9.8, let's look on the census here, because it's an interesting book. Yeah, and the first printing, pretty rare. 37 CGC 9.8s out there in the blue label. So a 1 of 37 collector item for this one. 12.8% is the CGC 9.8 ratio. So yeah, you like that very nice kind of low teens 9.8 ratio for an 80s book is absolutely what you want. So yeah, you could see why this one might be expensive. And yeah, it's got a great cover if you're an Aliens fan. I mean, this is doesn't get much better, I don't think. So before I was looking on eBay here and looking for some completed listings and prices, and I wasn't seeing any. You go on Go Collect, it's $625, the fair market value for an Aliens #1. So none selling on eBay I'm seeing since this announcement happened, which was about a week ago, I think. Like I'm not too on top of the announcements, but so around the Go Collect fair market value is $625. I think right now, though, after this announcement, it's going to be tough to get this one for less than $800 is my suspicion. Certainly in this environment now. Because, yeah, these books are really heating up. It's kind of that time where it's basically I don't really recommend to buy any books during this time. And obviously I'm making a video about missing out on these. So, yeah, it's, that imminent time right after an announcement. Because, yeah, my sort of general thought is, yeah, okay, awesome that Aliens and Predator are MCU properties and there's excitement now. But are they going to come out with a movie in like a year or two? Like, probably not. It's probably going to be like 3 years or 4 years, and maybe a comic could maybe come out in a year. So you still got 6 to 8 months here where this could pull back and lull, and I don't think the promotion's going to last forever. Like, there's going to be a new announcement coming up in another couple weeks about something exciting, and people will be kind of thinking about that, and these might cool down. So that's the sort of strategy I'm thinking, and maybe in that environment, if you're really on top of your searches for Aliens #1, hopefully, Go Collect has it for $625. Maybe if you're lucky, you get it for $600. If you really want it and it looks great, you can get it for $700. I think that's a go for, a 1 of 37 CGC 9.8 comic book. Yeah, Aliens #1. The thing with Aliens for me, the next book we'll talk about is more the one that I want for nostalgia purposes and just really loving that kind of character, and it's connected to my childhood for sure. But Aliens #1, and Aliens the movie and things like that, never really got into that as a kid, yeah. And I do actually have a raw copy of the comic book, but I can never really remember watching the movies as a kid and really liking them or anything, and I don't know where I got that raw comic from. It was so long ago, but I think it's a 3rd or 4th print. That's the thing with this Aliens #1 I'm talking about. The first print here, yeah, 1 of 37. and the Blue Label CGC 9.8, I think might be worth paying up for. Hopefully you're on top of your searches. Be patient here. I'd probably recommend at least 3 to 4 months here, where you want to just maybe not buy these books because the promotion's real and it drives the demand. And and the next book we'll get more evidence of how the prices really have advanced, because Aliens #1 with only 37, not a lot of them popping up on the market even now in the CGC 9.8. Yeah, really cool rare book if you're a huge Aliens fan. So next one is Predator #1. Yeah, Predator #1, the first appearance of Predator in comic books. So look on the census really quick for this one. There's 165 CGC 9.8, so not too many of them for, first appearance of a really cool character, I think. 27.4% is the CGC 9.8 ratio, so not too rare in any way, but not too bad either. That's kind of an average one, I would say, for a kind of an 80s book. So for Predator #1, this is one I'm a little bit more attracted to because when I was really young, I loved the Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator movie, and that was one I just rewatched over quite often, and as a kid. So I'm more nostalgic for this one, and that's why I was saying I was kind of hitting myself for not going after this one just initially, in my sort of few years here of going after CGC 9.8 comic books, because I really like the movie and I really love sort of buying things that I liked when I was younger just because they're cool. This one has a really cool cover too, and it was pretty affordable for CGC 9.8, so yeah, you can see why I was kind of hitting myself for not having one of these, because now, so let's talk about pricing. $315 was, let's call it the fair market value before this announcement, before anyone sort of knew the rumors or anything. A couple auctions on eBay right around that price ending here in the last little bit, in the last few months. But now, seeing a couple, I think one sold for $450, and they had sort of ramped up off that announcement, where obviously $315 before that, some had started going for $400, some started going for $450, and two, I think on eBay I saw sell for $600 now, $599, $95 kind of deal, in the CGC 9.8. So certainly I'm not going to pay the $599, $99 for this one. I don't think, with the 27.4% CGC 9.8 ratio, nothing to write home about. Although it is a good character, though, and I really think the long-term potential could be good with this book if kind of everything goes right with MCU. Like, they come out with Marvel Comics of Predator and Alien, and they're awesome, and everyone likes them. Then maybe they come out with an MCU-produced movie, and everyone likes that. Then, yeah, $600 in the CGC 9.8, but I think you'll probably get a better price if you just kind of wait for a bit of a pullback here. So, similar argument, I think, to Aliens 1, where, we're months or weeks after this announcement, that sort of the confirmation that MCU has Aliens and Predator. So, in that time, there's a lot of demand that's going to drive the prices higher, and I always kind of recommend to relax and be a little patient. So that's going to be my strategy, to be a little more patient and hopefully grab this maybe in 6 months, 4 months. You got to be on top of your searches. So, I can't say, what time to wait for sure, but I think, at least 3 to 4 months, and then you can start really searching for it if you still want it. And, around $400, I think would be a fair price at that point. So instead of paying, $450 is probably a decent price if you want it right now. $450 might work, but I think if you wait for a lull, you get closer to the $300, I guess it was going for the fair market value. Maybe $350 is doable in a lull if you're on top of your searches in 4 to 6 months. That's what I'm going to try to do with this book. But, this one, only 165, CGC 9.8. So I actually think, if everything kind of goes right with these characters, because right now, Aliens and Predator, cool, but I don't know if they're super iconic or have the legs to really do well. But if anyone's going to give them a boost, it's going to be MCU. So sort of kind of just reacting to this news and realizing I didn't have a Predator #1 was the one that more bugs me, because Aliens wasn't really into them that much when as a young kid. Didn't really get into them for whatever reason it was. But yeah, these are two pretty great books to, want to recommend. But I think right now, in this time, right after the announcement, you want to be patient. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, let it relax here. Maybe it's just 2 months, right? Maybe something else comes along and everyone just forgets about these in 2 months. I mean, people's memories are that short, to be honest. I believe that. So Yeah, it could be that early where then you start doing your searches and hopefully get a Predator number 1 near like, yeah, 350. You know, maybe if you really want it, 400, closer to that 300 value before. And Aliens number 1, if you really want it, I think a decent price is probably like 650, 700 right now. But my feeling is that one could pop up for like 1,500 or best offer, and like the seller is probably wanting to get like 1,200 or something, like from like a 1 of 37 collector item. So, but who knows? Like if you're on top of it, maybe a bit of a naive seller pops up, and if you're really on top of your searches, grab it closer to 625. That can happen too. Yeah, you never know. So, but yeah, I guess I just wanted to make this video because I'm kind of bummed I just don't have these and nothing to bring out on the couch today. So yeah, hopefully we'll use the graphics, but we'll wrap it up there. And yeah, thanks a lot, so much for watching. If you haven't already, I would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Hit the bell for the new videos and add me on Instagram and Twitter. Message me on Instagram too. Definitely the easiest way to kind of ask me questions or just get a hold of me. Alright, yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.